because all of us are really just trying to find our way into love. And no one really teaches us this bit. We go to school and we learn maths and history. And, I remember being at school and the maths teacher telling me all this stupid trigonometry or something, I don't know, and me saying to him, well, what good is this to me? And he goes, well, you might want to build something like the Harbour Bridge. It's going to be really handy for you. How about you teach me how to love and honour myself so that I can go through a life and love and honour other people, so I don't have to get to my late 30s to learn it. So I don't have to get to the point where I think, actually, I'm pretty worthless. I'm just going to take my own life. This thing is shit. I don't know what to do. How about someone teaches us and they don't? So part of the reason I stand here before you is to try and share with you some of what I have learned, in the hope that perhaps you won't have some of the pains that I've had. But also so that you can go on to impact the next generation that are coming through, because they're really fucking confused. Yeah? And it lays with us to make a change. The way I see it is it's really going to shit out there. Our teenagers are very confused. They are running that exact story of sex as love. I'm sure plenty of you have read what teenage girls are thinking right now, what means that the boy likes them. And it's edgy and I'm going to say it. But 13-year-old girls are saying, I know he liked me if he talks to me after I sucked his cock. Now, if that doesn't fucking drive a knife in your heart, I don't know what will. Because this is painful for our teenage girls, but also really fucking painful for the boys, because they don't know. They don't know anything different. Our men are very confused. There used to be the day when men knew their role, right? I go to work, I'm the provider. I open the door, I order her food, I put a jacket on for her. I do all these things and this makes me the man, and when I come home, she's really grateful and she's excited to see me. This makes me a man. She appreciates me. I've been able to do everything that I think she wanted. I've been able to provide for her. I'm a good man. And things have changed, and I believe they had to change. I'm not here to say that they didn't. But the scales tipped a little too far. Yeah? I've men now open a door and we're like, I can do that by myself. I don't need you to provide for me. I can provide for myself. I'm actually fucking stronger than you. I can do everything. So really, I don't actually need you, other than the fact that I need you in my life to prove that I'm worthy. It's pretty fucked, really, isn't it? So how are men supposed to feel loved? So coming back to the judgment piece, as women, we start out pretty young in judging each other, competing against each other for the man, to show that we're worthy. So competing, judgment, chasing, I'm going to get that man so that we can get him, get the ring, marry him, and it shows that we're worthy. Yeah, I'm a good woman. I got a man, I married him, things are great. He's now mine. Don't you dare even become his friend. Don't you talk to him, don't you look at him, he's my man. Heaven forbid should you be such good friends that you would want to hug my man, because he is not to get that affection from anyone else but me, but I'm not going to give it to him either. It's true, isn't it? It's seriously fucking true, and we're all guilty of it, and I'm not saying that women are bad, for doing this. This is just this thing that's frickin' playing out, and it's so much bigger than us. It's bigger than you in this personal place. There is something, a wound that is being played out on this planet, so much fucking bigger than all of us that we are just a chess piece in this game. And it's time for it to change. So if you think about the men who have now just been an object, being claimed by their woman, now being told what they can and can't do. Honey, do you mind if I go to the football with my mates? Excuse me? He's having to ask permission to do something that he wants to do? What the fuck? Yeah? He's got no freedom. And if you think about the fact that men, or the masculine, and when I speak about men, we've all got the masculine within us as well. So I'm not only speaking of men, I'm speaking of our own masculine and what we're doing to ourselves. Is we're taking that freedom away and we're trapping them and locking them in the cupboard as our little object. And we're basically killing a part of them. And they sit there and they want to sit on the lounge and just want to watch TV. Just going to sit here with the remote, flick through the channels. Actually not watching anything, flicking. I can hear her nagging me in the background. She's nagging about the bins again, flick. Maybe if I flick through more channels and ignore her and switch off, I can have some rest from this. Because I don't feel free. In order to have my freedom, I would actually rather fucking die than not feel free. So I'm just going to let a part of me die. Or for some of the men, men's suicide is really freaking high, so much higher than women. So for some of them, it's easier to it's all too confusing right now in this time and space. So I'm just going to leave because they don't even know what else to do. So you're thinking about the fact that they feel like an object. They're our prize. They don't have any freedom anymore. Can you tell me, would they actually really be feeling your love? Now, I believe that every woman has so much fucking love in her. More love than most people can even handle. That's the thing. That's why we shut it down, because it's so freaking overwhelming. It's big. But do you think that the men who we truly love, because we do honestly love them, none of us are doing any of this intentionally at all. Like I said, remember, this is fucking bigger than us. But it's a home truth. It's a really big home truth. So do these men actually feeling our love? We think we're giving it to them. And we do. We're like, I freaking give my life to you, man. You're my dad, my partner, my child, my whatever it is. I'm giving everything to you. I'm being your woman. I'm cooking for you. I'm doing whatever it is that you feel like is making me feel loved. And you genuinely mean that. And you genuinely fucking love these men. I know you do. But they're not actually feeling it. And that's the important part. It doesn't matter how much we give if they can't feel it. So, there's a few different ways that we can actually make them feel it. As women, two of our most powerful things are our womb and our heart. If we activate our womb and if we open our heart, we have the power to change the entire fucking planet. Yeah. And I truly believe that that's actually what we all want. I know that's what we're all actually trying to do. We're trying so fucking hard that most of us are exhausted. Really. Adrenal fatigue right now for women is through the roof. It's like the disease of the now, because we are exhausted. The to-do list, the fucking everything, they're trying to be everything for everyone. They're trying so hard to make sure everyone feels how much we love them, because we really do. And we've got all these emotions and they're really fucking overwhelming and we're trying to be everything. We're exhausted. But nobody's teaching us how to come back to ourselves. How to come back to a place where we have that energy again. Because I can guarantee that most women right now, if I said, look, all you need to do is go to all the men and do this thing. You're like, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do the thing. It's true, isn't it? It's like, what, you mean there's another thing on my to-do list that I have to do and I can't? I can't, it's too much. What about if I told you by coming back to the power of the womb, by coming back to the power of the heart, life becomes so much easier. It really does. I used to be the woman with the to-do lists and the crazy and the stressed out beyond belief. I honestly was working at an event and I nearly had a heart attack and I continued to work. My doctor was like, you seriously just about had a heart attack. Like, what are you going to do? Was one of the changing points. But I was like, but I'm a woman, I can do everything. Oh, thank you. No, I don't want to be bitten by that, thank you. Yeah, I was like, you know, I can do everything, I can push through, I can make it all happen. It's fine, I can have a heart attack sitting here at work, it's fine, don't worry. I can keep running this event whilst I'm having a heart attack, just so you all fucking know how good I am. Yeah, and seriously, how many of us would actually congratulate that? We're like, yeah, you're really busy. You're busier than me, you're like doing everything, you still ran that event while you were having a heart attack. You're like fucking bow down to you, woman, you're amazing. No, not fucking bow down to anyone for that shit. Why are we killing ourselves? Why are we killing ourselves? Because that's what's happening. We're all running in our masculine energy so hard that we are literally killing ourselves, making ourselves sick. So I want you to really feel into that. We're killing ourselves. We're really fucking confused. The men that we really adore, man, we fucking love them in our lives. They're not feeling the love though. They're exhausted. It's not really a good state of affairs, is it? So how would you like to learn a few different ways to change that? Myself, the more everyone who comes into my space can feel how much I love them. So for those of you who were in my journey last night, I'd love to know who actually felt my heart and felt that I really was fucking honest when I said I love you. Yeah, because I do. But a few years ago I couldn't have. Because I didn't love me. And that's the only thing that I really changed in order to be able to love others, was to learn to love myself. So by activating our womb, opening our heart, coming to a place of deep self-love and opening our heart, big, big pieces. So, no idea how long I've been talking or how long I've got left, but I really didn't even know I was going to talk about any of this. Like I said, just open and let it come through. But what I'm feeling is to take you through, to take you through a process of connecting to your womb, of connecting to your heart, and basically seeing if we've got time to bring that into a bit of a priestess initiation for you, because the way to truly love our men is to come into self-love and to come into our priestess, which we all have within us. And our priestess can initiate our own masculine, and our priestess can also initiate the men in our lives, all of them. Because back in the day of the priestesses, as boys were coming into manhood, they didn't have to do it alone. When they were coming into their sexual maturity, they would go to the temple and they would be with a dakini. And she would initiate them into their manhood. And all the tribe would be around the outside of the tent, singing and drumming and chanting, as this woman held her womb open to love him and initiate him into his manhood. So then he actually knew how to go on to love how to go on to make love with women, how to be able to move through his sexual energy. Our boys are not given this opportunity. Yet every single one of us in this space has the power to do that if we activate our womb, our heart, and step into our priestess. And I truly believe that now is the time for the temple arts to be coming back. This is a forgotten art that we somehow managed to cover up, and I'm not going to go into how or why, but it's fucking time for it to come back. Yeah. But now, just feeling into, once you've tapped into your womb, that is where your priestess power lies. It lies there just waiting for you. Each and every one of you in this space is a priestess. It's very important that you really hear me in this. Every single woman in this space is a priestess. You have that power within you, so allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to open so that your priestess power can fully come through. Because all she needs is for you to open to her. To leave the fear behind. To leave the fear of being too much. Because now is the time on earth for us to be activating this. We've been asked before to activate it and we've ignored it and stayed in fear. We have a choice right now to activate it. We are being called to activate it and we don't want to miss it again. We don't want to miss it again. So feel it. As you feel it, allow the memories to come forth for you again. Because you already know what to do. You already know how to initiate. Nobody needs to teach you how to do that. They just need to open the doorway for you so you can find your way through. And that's what I'm here to do. So as we move from the womb activation, we need to bring that into the heart. Because if we truly step into our priestess, her power always comes through the heart. I want you to turn to another woman in this space. Just face somebody else. If you know them or don't know them, it doesn't matter. Just go how you feel. You're in a feeling place right now. Don't use your mind. Your body will just feel and you will turn to someone, and that will be the perfect partner for you. So notice our natural state is to go into kind of giggles and laughter, because it's in our vulnerability. When we turn to somebody else now, we feel vulnerable. So just recognize that that's what happens. We giggle and we laugh when we feel vulnerable. And see if you can breathe and drop past the giggles and the chatter. See if you can breathe in your body to become beyond the vulnerable discomfort where we need to talk. And just really see this sister in front of you. Just look at her. I want you to see beyond the physical. See if you can give yourself the gift of coming into complete silence. Because trust me, I know that it's difficult sometimes to be in that vulnerable space. So really dropping into sacred space with this sister opposite you. Really seeing her, feeling her. See if you can feel her heart. Because that is her gift to the world. I want you to take your left eye and gaze into her left eye. If you're in groups of 3, you can just take turns, that's okay. But there's a few of you in 3s. So you might need to point to which is your left eye. It's a little tricky. But take your left eye and gaze into her left eye. And again, notice how when we are brought into a space of dropping into deeper intimacy, the natural space for us is to giggle and chat. That's actually our way of trying to avoid the vulnerability and to avoid the feeling. So don't make it wrong, but just recognize that and see if you can drop beyond the words and the chatter. And sit here and hold gaze, left eye to left eye. And as you breathe with this sister, see if you can see beyond her. See if you can see the divine in her. Allow yourself to be seen and see at the same time. Remember to breathe. As we breathe, we can let go of any other blocks that are in the way. And see if you can see the goddess in this woman. See if you can bring yourself into connection with the God and the goddess, with the divine, through this person in human form. Because this is the closest that we come in this physical form to really being able to understand the God and goddess and the divine when we're in a physical form. I can feel you. What you're seeing right now in your sister is the true essence that is there all the time. in everybody. So it's there in our men as well, when we allow ourselves to see it. And when we see this in our sisters, we band together. Because I would hazard a guess there are some of you who have never met before, who are opposite each other, who right now are probably feeling love for this person, deep awe and reverence for this person. So when you're in your full priestess mode and you've really activated your womb and your heart and you've opened and allowed your priestess to come through, and you hold this space that you are right now with each other, you can initiate and activate other people who you love and care for just by doing this. Drop the words and the chatter that we have in so many of our discussions and our arguments that bring us into the mind, and come into the truth of this. Because when you're in this space right now, does it really matter who took out the rubbish or who said what, or does it really fucking matter? Really? Are we not robbing ourselves by letting all the mundane shit get in the way? Because the fact of the matter is, here as humans, we are all trying to learn how to love and be loved. That is our journey. We get ourselves all confused and we can't find our way there. And it's really simple. When someone opens the door for us, it's really simple. Through another piece for you, and this is the only piece that's going to come through that requires any speaking, and I'm going to ask you, as my sisters who love and respect each other and me, that when I ask you to stop talking, that you do, and that as you are speaking, I want you to remain in your body. Feel your womb, feel your heart, rather than go into the head. It's a very different way to speak than when we allow ourselves to get into the chatter and the mind space. If you notice, you go into the mind space, just close your eyes, breathe, come back into the body. So, back to the topic of the art of loving men. As women, we like to know what people love about us. As men, they like to know what we appreciate about them. And we forget to tell them the things we appreciate. So what I want you to do right now is imagine this woman sitting opposite you is a man from your life, your partner, your husband, your dad, your son, it doesn't matter. Just feel into who this woman could represent for you. Because what we do right now, if you really allow them to drop into that space of imagining that they are that person, is energetically, that person will actually feel what we're going to do. So it's your choice if you decide to really drop in and do this, or if you just play. So decide who that person is representing for you. And quietly, without words, just decide who is going to speak first. Nod your head or put your hand up or whatever it might be, if you're feeling it to speak first. So this person that you're seeing in this other woman, this man that you're seeing here being represented by this woman, what are some things that you really appreciate about him? that you probably haven't expressed. Really feel into what do you truly appreciate about him? The way he holds your hand, the way he puts his hand on the small of your back when you go out, the way he opens the door, the way he protects you, the way he says I love you, the way you feel him. Really feel into it. So, remembering to stay in the body, I want you to share with this other person something I appreciate about you is, and really share it from the heart. It's going to give you about 30 seconds or something to share. Don't bring it into a two-way conversation. Just receive. If you're hearing the person, just receive. And starting to bring that to a close. Beautiful. And so the other person now, remember to really drop in that this is representing someone in your life, a man in your life. Really see that in this other person, because this is the gift that they're giving you, is to hold space as them. And feel into what do you really appreciate about this person, and I want you to share it. Something I really appreciate about you is, again, you've got about 30 seconds to share. It's just a one-way conversation.